Welcome guys. This is a movement tutorial. I'm going to break down the pose Ekapada Kundiyanasana or hurdler's pose. It's a pretty big shape, but just like all things, it's not really the shape itself that matters. It's what you experience along the way. So especially if this is a shape that is quite difficult, quite challenging, perhaps beyond the realm of what is possible at this moment, let it be a tool for observation. Observe how you respond to things that are a little bit unreachable, how you respond when things are challenging. Can you meet the moment with an open mind, with an open heart, with curiosity? So that's the bigger goal, but we're gonna break down pose. So we're gonna start in a tabletop position, shifting your shoulders above the wrists, the hips above the knees. And initially, just begin to draw some circles with the shoulders around the wrists. So the movements might be really, really big. They could be quite small. You're pushing the edges of comfort and letting sensation communicate with the breath. Begin to move in the opposite directions. See if you can move a little bit slower through those sticky spots. And then find some stillness. Shift your fingertips towards the outer edges of the mat. And then just simply sway the shoulders from side to side. Maybe you can rock a little bit from side to side. Some circular motions if that feels good. There isn't a right or wrong. We're just using the wrists, giving back a little bit of love. Okay. Last one, flip your palms upwards. Your back of the hands facing down, fingertips face inwards towards one another. So you can choose to stay right here or begin to turn your eyes of the elbows forward and then bring them back. So the movement might be really small. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, it's all good. It's a little bit funky. Okay. Flip the palms back down. Feel free to give your wrists a shake if you need a little bit. We'll meet back up in downward facing dog. Don't worry about it too much. Draw the navel up and in. Press the palms down and forward. Next inhale, reach the right leg high. Exhale to low lunge. Soften the right foot to the inside of the right thumb, and then soften the left knee down to the earth. Hands right above the right knee. Inhale, back away from sensation. Exhale to sink into the hips a little bit deeper. Twice more, just like that. And then as you're ready, half splits. Soften the hips back. Extend the right leg any amount. Keep lifting through the chest. Extend through the ball of the right foot. Draw the toes back in towards the shin. And then you might choose to sway the foot a little bit from side to side. You can soften the chest down towards that right thigh. Keep leading with the belly button if you fold forward. If full splits, full Hanumanasana is within your practice, you're welcome to move there. And then gently re-bend into the right leg, plant the palms, engage your left leg, step the right foot back to a plank, and as you exhale, chaturanga. So we're gonna hold here. Elbows are drawn towards the side bodies. You're extending through the heels, drawing the navel up and in, lifting the center of the heart forward. Knees could be on the ground, don't forget. Inhale, lift the heart, cobra pose or upward facing dog. Exhale, glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Next inhale, left leg rises, three-legged dog. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Soften the right knee down to the earth. Shoulders stack above the hips, hands to the knee. Inhale, back away from the lunge. Exhale, sink into the hips. 2 more rounds of breath. And slowly move the hips back, straighten the left leg any amounts. Find sensation in the back of the left hamstring. towards full Hanumanasana if that's within your practice. Gently re-bend into the left knee. Plant your palms, engage your right leg, lift off of the ground. Press the ground away from you. Step the left foot back to a plank. Exhale, chaturanga, and we hold. Elbows keep drawing towards the side bodies. Tail towards the heels, navel up and in, keep lifting through the chest. You should feel a long line from the heels to the crown of the head. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. As you inhale, walk, step or hop your feet forward all the way between the hands. We'll come into a seat, coming into butterfly pose. So we'll bring the heels in, knees out wide, hands to the knees. As you inhale, shrug the shoulders up towards the ears, lift the knees, and then as you exhale, soften the knees down to the earth. A few more rounds just like that with your breath. And then we'll open the legs wide towards a straddle pose. If you find that you round through the low back, you can elevate the hips. I am not doing so right now, but you could slide pillows, a blanket underneath the hips so they're slightly higher than the knees. And first, we'll point our toes, engage the legs as much as you possibly could. We'll find some internal hip rotation. So you'll begin to turn your right big toe down towards the ground using the femur, so using the thigh, and then tilt the leg back. Okay. Now do the left. Engage the left leg as much as you could, and back. Good, so we keep moving just like that. If these are really challenging, it's an indication that you should do it more often. For me, this is one of my biggest restrictions in my body is internal hip rotation. So honor what's here. Okay. Find some stillness. You can keep pointing the toes, or you can flex the feet to alleviate any pain behind the knees. And then we'll just fold forward any amount. So all the shapes that we're doing, they are going to all involve little ingredients, little nuggets of wisdom that will enter into Ekapada Kundiyanasana, hurdler's pose. For a few rounds of breath, just stay right here, find an edge. And slowly lift the torso, rise up. All right, it's the time, hurdler's pose. So I'm gonna show you this movement from downward facing dog, and there's going to be 3 steps within the progression. The goal is not step 3. The goal is not the shape itself. Our goal is to challenge ourselves and only go so far as that we can still stay connected to the breath, we can still stay present. So we'll come into downward facing dog. We'll start in 3-legged dog. I'll show you the progressions and then I'll give you some space to play. The first step is simply to bring your left knee in towards the left armpit or towards the left shoulder. So you might choose to stay right here, just hold, press the ground away from you, draw the navel up and in. Step 2 in the progression is bending the arms like you were moving towards chaturanga. And then your right hip comes to the right elbow. You can then bring your left elbow to the left thigh. You can stay right there. This is step 2. Step 3 is to shift your body weight forward until your back foot becomes weightless, extending the left leg long, maybe lifting your right foot. This is hurdler's pose. All right, so I'll talk you through it one more time. But some things to keep in mind. So very often, what I see is people either going too quickly into the motion, trying to rush through it. I really encourage you to move slowly. And then a few things that I see happen. Very often, if you are one of those humans that can extend the left leg, the back foot can often feel really, really heavy. I advocate for you to shift your body weight forward until that right foot becomes weightless. And if it still feels super heavy, you could always bend this right leg. You can also bend the left leg too. This brings me to my last point. Right now, I'm looking at the camera. I'm lifting at my left foot. Try to lift through the heart, gaze straight forward. Whew. All right. So this is merely an introduction. This is information that you can use to play. But let's move through the opposite side and we'll move through it together. As you inhale, this time around, the left leg rises. Or rather, let's do right. Exhale, knee towards the shoulder. Draw the navel up and in. You might choose to stay right here, or you could bend the arms like chaturanga arms. Extend through the right leg. Maybe you tilt your body weight forward, lift through the left leg, lift through the chest. So, big shape, really fun. That's all I'm gonna do today. Just a little seed plant for future curiosity. I wish you well. Namaste.